Okay, so I'm gonna start with Ethereum because it's slightly different from Bitcoin in terms of movement. So Ethereum is again back, not a single boring day in crypto. It's back above the 20 and the 55 on the daily. It's looking like it's gonna make an evening star formation if the daily candle closes like this. What we need to see today for a continuation of the uptrend is a higher high. So yesterday, despite being a great day for a reversal, it didn't manage to put a higher high. So Ethereum loves its higher highs until we see a higher today close with a higher high, and probably the 20 on the daily turn up as well. I don't think we might see a lot of traction on the daily chart in the upwards direction. There might be some in the sideways direction. I was telling you the other day that this might be the space it's moving in. And if we're looking at the 4 hour wedge, we might see again a possibility of a back test of the midline. I think I'm gonna move this here. Yes, this is much better. I like that midline a lot better now. So we might see a back test of the midline, maybe around the 1800, but that would be the max. That would be the max space I see it moving in. If I check on the daily chart, yes, 1800 here for a lift, and that would be a higher high. Now, of course, if that momentum holds, because we are above the 20 on the daily, if that momentum holds and this divergence is broken upwards, then yeah, we can see some more movement upwards. But we're still moving in this 4-hour wedge. There's one swing in, if I count the one that's going in, one swing here, another one here. We would have a couple more swings to go, and there was here a bullish divergence, but it didn't. It got reset here. Now here we don't have any particular divergences on the 4-hour. It's right there in the middle, as price action will be, I believe, for the next coming days. So I don't think we'll see a big breakout the next coming days by the looks of it and the space it's moving in. And if you look at the 1-hour arc, the 1-hour line of the arc held to a T. Now I turned this into this one was a wedge as well on the 1-hour, and I turned it into a channel, just to make it a little bit more relevant with the price action coming back into it. So now it's no longer a wedge. The price action is back in. Now we still need to hold this validation line for the up, which is the let's say 1600 level. The 1600 level needs to be held for the lift to continue. It has back tested the 20 on the 1-hour, which is what it likes to do. It almost came down to the 55, and it looks like it is holding this line. Now I don't like the fact that it is not properly back testing the lines I've seen it do this a couple of times. It looks like it's holding the line, but what it's done, it's not actually came down to meet the line. What I would like to see in terms of the back test for another lift is what happened here. So coming down, testing the 20, crossing the line slightly down, and then up we go for another leg up. So something along these lines, but not really touching the line. Is not a good sign for me for the up. Also the M formation that we have on the hour is not a good sign, but I try not to be I try not to be biased. I would go. What I'm telling you about Ethereum today is that there is a chance for it to go up higher, but we need to see the higher momentum continue with higher highs on the daily. So that's the first thing that we need to see on a daily level. On a short time level, of course we need to see a higher high here, and we need to see it reach this 1750 if we want to continue further. If you're looking to short, here is a double top formation. To me, I am in two shorts at the moment, XRP and Bitcoin, and they all have double tops or triple tops formations that they made last night. So in this double top situation, the short would be the more probable trade to make for at least the UK and the first half of the US session. I don't know what's going to happen when this swing corrects. Now, also Ethereum has a habit of making very short corrections on its way up. So at the moment, it's done a 382 correction. That might be it, and it might continue for another leg up. I believe that for a swing that went up like that, like so straight, to be sustainable on the way up, we need a deeper correction, at least a 0.5 or a golden pocket. We'll see what that we'll see if that happens. We are in a new 15-minute arc, so the target wasn't met and we reversed upward, so I'll have to adjust this arc. It's okay. It's like sometimes the technical targets aren't met in the next arc, in the current arc. They might be met later on in the next arc. So we are talking about the 15 minutes, so it is quite a small move we're talking about. So at the moment, if we're looking at the 15-minute, the new 15-minute arc, let's say this was right here, Skyline resistance peak. We had double top here on the 15-minute, and I'll switch to the 15-minute because it's easier for you to see it. Here it is, double top, and here is mountain peak coming right up close to resistance peak, almost. So a very nice 15-minute arc anatomy. And now, of course, we are looking for the third drop, and the third drop might be around the 200 on the 15-minute, and the 200 on the 15-minute might be the 0.5. Let me just check. No, the 200 was 200 is a little bit lower, and it is at the 382 at the moment, but by the time price action gets to it, it might be down to the 0.5. The 1550 level, which is again bouncing off this line that it hasn't managed to touch. So I'd like to see that line tested and that line actually cause a lift up. So that's what I'd like to see. On the 1 hour, let me just double check on the 1 hour for the MAs where this 0.5 would be. We don't have any particular 1 hour MAs on at the 0.5, but we do have the 10 MA on the 4 hour. So that might be what it's coming for. Also, the 200 and the 50 on the 4 hour are combined here. Morning, Lee.
Morning, you.
Sorry, I was late today. I was watching for a short entry last night up until 4 o'clock in the morning. Now, let's have a look at Bitcoin. I'm just done with Ethereum, Lee. Perfect timing. Bitcoin bounced off this support and resistance level on the daily. I keep looking at this channel, and I think the target will be met. And I keep wondering, when the target is met, is it going to turn into a sideways channel leading to more movement in this space before a proper breakout will happen? But that's more so my daily projection. So I'm still waiting. We're still in a downtrend. Nowhere near the 20 MA. The 20 EMA on the daily. We are holding support and resistance, which is good, but I don't think we're doing it particularly well compared to what XRP and Ethereum did yesterday. Bitcoin didn't even recover the full vector candle for the drop. So XRP and Ethereum went up to recover the full red candle before. Bitcoin did a very small recovery compared to them. In our short-term levels, again, I'm gonna add a new arc here because I believe we are in a new 15-minute arc, and it's good to see. To keep an eye on the anatomy of it. We haven't yet met the target, but I was saying that about Ethereum. It's okay for the targets to not to be met in this arc formation. They might actually be met in the following one. So it's not a. There are how can I say? A line has a lot more factors behind it in terms of being met than just the measurement of it. So here's the 15-minute arc, and I believe the 15-minute arc did a mountain peak, quite a low mountain peak. Ethereum's gone all the way up to here. We have here now. We might look at this in two ways. So this could be a 1, 2, 3 triple top formation, M formation as well, or this might be a bull flag for the up as well. So that's because of how the move happened yesterday. It's it could be considered a bull flag as well. On the 15-minute, it is holding the support of the 200 at the moment. Let me see. I believe it did get rejected on the 4-hour at the 20 here, so that's why we're seeing all of this push down. But I'm also mindful that the 5 on the 4-hour is coming up, the 20 and the 50 are coming down, but it's still looking like it might want to do a short correction and head up. Now, Bitcoin, I believe, has done the shortest correction of both XRP and Ethereum. Is it? No, sorry, I take that back. It's still at the 382 level, same as Ethereum so far. Again, for the swing to be more sustainable, I believe a 5 or a 0.5 or a golden pocket correction is necessary. I have my target at 0.5 because I want to take profits more frequently these days. I don't want to be caught in a reversal. We might be up and down in this small space, and I want to see what's going to happen here. We are back in that wedge. I was really surprised to see that it didn't reach the top. This could also be a sign of it wanting to come out of the wedge, like proper spill. The way it had an overflow here at the top, I believe is going to happen at the bottom. So I think that we are in for a bigger spill in the coming week, and that spill will be, let me switch the trader's reality off, and that bigger spill will be the 18,200 target here, which it came pretty close to, but didn't reach it, or even if I take this, no, that's met. Let me see. Let me measure it again. No, that's it. That is my most the lowest target, the lowest technical target that I have for for Bitcoin. But of course, if we take the support and resistance, the next support and resistance line would be here at the 16.5. So there are three possible levels: the 18K, then the 17.5, and then the 16.5 that it can get to if they're broken step by step. Now, you have seen that Bitcoin is not moving in big ranges these days. It hasn't really been enjoyable to trade because of those big ranges. I was in trades for days waiting for profit. I am thinking about switching and going back to trading Ethereum at the moment because it is more volatile, and I'd like to have a little bit more profits in the meantime. Bitcoin has been a bit of a pain with its slow-moving ranges. Slow moving and small ranges. So slow moving would not be an issue if it gave a nice range, but like you can for instance here we've been a week in a 4% range. You leave 30% on the table. From 4.5 you get 3%, so 30% in your trades. I'm not saying that's not a good profit because it adds up, but it is a bit of a pain to wait for all of that to do something. So yeah, very how can I say, very lackluster performance from Bitcoin. I believe again, we don't have any change in sentiment or momentum on Bitcoin. It's the same thing every day, small ranges, small movements. I believe we're going to see a retrace today. So the trade for today would be a short, a retrace, what happens after that short, we're going to see in terms of how the levels are kept. So if this level, if the 18,700 holds, we might see another lift and the push up, like a double bottom formation on the 4 hour, just to make it a little bit prettier and more solid. So like a W coming back here and then lifting up. So that could be a nice thing to see. But this would be I believe here in this range, and this is a very tradable range. Like this is a great range if it moves in this range. This would be the range that we would see ourselves in for the next week or so, I believe, if the bottom line holds. That is my big if. I don't worry so much about the superior levels at the moment because I have no support on any higher time frame in terms of the 20 and the 55, but I do worry about the bottom line holding, because if that doesn't hold, we might see the double bottom sooner rather than later. So that's it for me. Take care trading. Be very mindful about the sideways these days, and take your profits. Don't say no to profits. I'll see you guys tonight for the weekly post-trade analysis. We've had some nice trades and some nice target met, and it's nice to see how TA played out. I'll see you guys later.
Okay, so now let me have a look at XRP. Yeah, there's a fair bit of volatility going on at the moment. So where will I start? If I look at the arc chart here for a moment, yeah, potentially there's a lot of volatility here. Potentially on this small red one here, yeah, smaller time frame, is we could have hit third spike here, and it's coming back up. Possibly we'll get a double top and a first drop. So it may come back down, not necessarily break this bottom. Might do another 786 correction. That might be the first drop and then head on up. So that's one possibility. Or it's you can see this channel here, and this is also a weekly channel. Now I know I have it on the 4 hour, but it's actually a weekly channel. It's broken out of the weekly channel here. You see lots of back test, up, back testing it again, and again another rejection coming down. Yeah. So it may be just back testing, getting rejection until it wants to come down further, but it is continually testing it. So to be honest, is you know, it goes either way. I have TA that is as promising in both directions. So at the moment, I'm in a very. If this plays out as a regular impulse, I'm in a very sweet short position. But we'll see. So now I want to show you this pattern. I want to show you this pattern in previous places. So here is an example. If you look at the drop here, you look at the sideways, you know, and as we come to the end of a consolidation and you get volatility. So again, look, you can see the lift, the drop, the lift, the drop, the lift, and then the drop. So look at here is the same pattern is playing out. I'm not saying it's going to drop down. It's just the same breakout pattern at the end. This right here is, look, here's the lift. Here's the lift. Hang on, let me get this right now. Yeah, from here. Here's the lift. I think here's the lift. Then there's the drop. There's that drop there. I'll map it out here, yeah. Because I'm going to show you another one. It's very, very similar. So just so you can get to recognize there's a consolidation pattern, and then there's the breakout pattern. So you can see that there, yeah. So now it's the same thing here. Look, make sure I got it right. Is from here. Look, there's that drop there. So then here's the drop. Here's the lift. Here's the volatility coming back in. We're here. Now, if this does it, it's 786 correction as normal. It'll be here and back up to here, and then we'll have our decision. Generally. So yesterday I was saying to people, this might just do an 05 correction, and then continue on down. Equally, we're in the same position here. This may do just an 05 rather than do the 786. This may do an 05 and decide to continue on up because we're coming into that phase. So now you can see the pattern here. So it's possible that we'll do another 786 and then do the 05, 382 to 05, and then make its decision if it's going down. But if it's going up, is maybe we'll have an 05, 382, 05 here, and then head on up. But you can see the pattern, and it's the same thing. It's the same thing. I was showing you this previous one. Look, same thing here. Same thing here. I'll just take this over, and I believe if I put that there like that, look at that. I haven't even changed the whatchamacallit yet. There's that there. So I think I need to bring this one down lower. No. That's the bigger one. Look, bring that there, and bring that there. And look, it's the same. You get a drop, comes up, comes down. You get more volatility, up, down. Get the volatility. So you can see that there's essentially two basic volatile swings. Then you get an 05 to a 382, and then you get the movement. So we're looking at the same thing going on here. And the question is it going to go for another drop, or is it going to go up? That's what we're waiting on. The trend is down, so the general trend is down. But again, you know, there's guys that are respected on other traders, and some of them are given TA for the up, some of them are given TA for the down. I respect both of them, and they're generally spot on. But the question is, which one of them is correct? So I honestly don't know the way it's playing at the moment. It's playing at such a tight game, yeah, at such a volatile game. I'll give you an example. Regardless of which direction it is, it's still the strategy. It's your trading strategy that keeps you protected. So while I'm in a great short position, I also have a tight stop loss on, because this is debt valley area. This is where the volatility kicks in. People can get caught. Yeah. So if you look on the daily here, as you can see, here's the EMA ribbon. You can see, look, there's the back test to the 20, rejection, to the 20 again, rejection, to the 20 again, rejection. So there's 3 days of rejection, but you can also say it's 3 days of testing. Excuse me. And I'm going to put it onto the 4 hour now. Put it onto the 4 hour now, and I just want to go into this for now, yeah. So now what I want to show you here is the 4 hour broke through here. I think this is like 16, 18%, yeah. Drop. Oh, no, my apologies, 13%, yeah. Is, you can see the 20, sorry, the 20 here is the 20 EMA, and the blue line is the 55 EMA, my apologies. So look, it dropped down, came back, went to get close enough to test it, and again got a rejection here again, yeah. And now I'm going to measure from where the 20 got rejected, which again is another 8%. Overall, this move was a 14, and then this move is, there we go, there's the 16, maybe 17%. Okay, so I was thinking of the whole move. So now look, here we are again. We get the drop. Now look, the 4 hour is getting close to a test, and again it got a rejection. And you can see that it's okay, that was pretty much a 6% move there. And overall, this is a pretty much a 9% move. But you can see the volatility is we got the rejection and it drops down. Look, there's 2 drops in it. This is one pretty big long drop, yeah. But this one is, look, we got the drop, and look, we're straight back up testing the 55. This time price action got above the 55 and the 20. It's sitting on the 20 now. So now it's after getting on top of it again, like it did here, yeah. And you can see this is the 50 MA on the 4 hour. So this is the challenge: is, are we going to have our 786 correction again? Remember the pattern that I was showing you? I'm taking my time with this today because this pattern plays out as part of the consolidation phase, and then the breakout this pattern is playing out. So is to trade these areas, a lot of people step back because they're too volatile, and I'm showing you the pattern that normally plays out. So if you're going to trade it, is you've got consolidation here. So look, you're trading small swings, but now you have to adapt to the volatility here. So when this volatility comes in, is these are snappy trades where they happen over a day. There's great profit in them, but you gotta be not dulled. See, this dulls you to sleep because it goes sideways in the tight area, and then when this happens, you're half sleepy in your trade, and you're not ready for it. So when you're ready for it, you can play the slower, shorter trades here, and then you play the faster, bigger trades here. But you gotta be ready for it, yeah. So remember the pattern I was showing you here, here, potentially here, back down to the 786, and look up to an 05 or 382. This will be, make sure I got this right, is because we will be measuring from the bottom to the top. So look, look at that. There's the 05. So potentially we could be looking at this, and if that was to play out, look, there's a rejection off the 50 again. Is we could get the 05. If you look at this now, I'll just move this out of the way. If we look at the fib here, so now I'm measuring from the top to the bottom because again it's the movement down. Here's the look at wick to the 382 already, and then the question is maybe you'll have another push down to somewhere around the 05 or somewhere in between, and then continue on up, and then we have our breakout and we're heading for a mountain peak. Yeah. So that would be the test. I reckon around 32, 60, 65 could be the limit if it's gonna be the 382. But you can see this pattern here likes to play out. So as messy as this gets when we look at the MAs, is it might just have a snap wick. It might just find it powering its way through late in the day, so to speak, and actually hitting down here. And then we come up, we have our 05, and then after that, the question is which direction is it going to go. So now, is if we put this back on here, is if it was to do that, okay, we've got our 786. Now we've got coming back up to our 05. So let's look at, if we put this like this, is okay, it's here now. So let's say by the time it gets to the 05 here, where is the pattern? Or where is price action in relationship to the 50? Okay, well, it's down. To the 55 and the 20 EMA, it's down. This here, I think that's the 50 SMA. Yeah, that's the 50 SMA, yeah, as well. It is below, it ends up below these guys here, so it could be a push down, one final test, rejection, and then continuation down. So possibly, is if I look at it here, here's my channel lines as well. And these red channels here are super in a local area. So here is the bear trend all the way down, yeah. And these red lines travel all the way up here and match, but I kept them local to here. So again, possibly we're looking at another touchdown, a back test to the red channel line here, and a rejection. And equally is this yellow line here, I believe. Let me just bring this in here. I believe this is the. There we go. There it is. Here's the 618, the macro 618 on the bigger time frame, yeah. Of the whole from the bottom of the bear market of the previous run to the top of the bull market. Here's the macro fib, yeah. So now we were looking at this price action landing about 32.80. So 32.80 here. 32.80 here is, where's 32.80? 32.80. Okay, there's 32.80 there. So it comes back up to hit this line here. Now it's still above the 618, and you can see price action was bouncing along the 618, except for this one took a good volatile push through it. Now let me just zoom out just a moment to see what this yellow line is, yeah. Just with regards. Okay, this yellow line is a look over the dailies over a long period of time. This is a strong support and resistance line. So it's looking like if it follows the same pattern, it needs to break this line to do its 786 today, and potentially if it comes back up to an 05, bounces off that line for rejection and then comes down. And also the red channel line here would support it as well, yeah. And then the general next target I reckon potentially could be the 065 down here at 29.42. I do have a target of 30.50. Maybe it'll push down a little bit more, yeah. And maybe that will be the double bottom. Maybe that's enough. Why am I saying that? Because when I go onto this chart here, here's the MAs, yeah, and I look at the daily, Okay, so here's the daily. And when we go down to the bottom left, there is a serious bullish divergence on the daily. So you can see, look at the price action here. You can see price action has gone lower, price action has gone lower again. So you can see the price action is moving this way, and then look at the RSI. So it leveled out here, and now look how high the RSI is here, but yet price action has come even deeper. So this is screaming for a lift. But now this is on the daily, so this doesn't mean that this can't come down again before it pumps up. But it is suggesting that there's not much more. There's not a big spill. There's not a big spill. Potentially, there's not a big spill down because there's such a bullish divergence on the daily. So, so that's, or else the other option is I'll show you now. Here, this chart here. Yeah. So normally you can see when it spills in this pattern here, when it spills here, you get two drops where it back tests to the white and the blue. The 20 is the white and the 55 the blue is the 55, both EMAs. It drops, back tests again very close to the 20 here, and then it does a drop. Yeah. Now this is far more compact because it's in such a tight space now. So look, you can see the drop back to the 55. There's the drop back to the 20, and look, there's a spill down. Yeah. Now it's all in a much tighter, compact space. So even potentially, even down onto this blue line, which would be 30. Yeah. There's a long-term support line here. That could play out, and then we get consolidation here, where we move into, see the red here, see the red circles here. We move into a consolidation phase, and then we head on up for mountain peak. Yeah, potentially that could be the play here. It's just all compacted. It seems like there is another move before we get again a smaller, tighter consolidation phase. Is there anything else I want to go through? Okay, the EMAs. Let me go through the EMAs. So back, I'll just have a quick look at the 4 hour here, because again, the 4 hour was where we nearly had our crossing, and then, sorry, that's the 4 day. The 4 hour, there we go. So you can see. Nahela?
Sorry.
You can see the previous crossing of the 4 hour, the rejection of it here, the rejection of it here. And it would be so simple if it just rejected and kept coming down. Look, this one's back up. If we look on the closer time frame, the more immediate, the 5 minute has crossed down, yeah. The 15 minute is just about to cross over here, yeah. Now, not unless there's a bit of a rejection here, and we get a lift up, back up, we get a double top. So for sure this could fail, turn around and get a double top, and I'll explain why that might happen in a moment. Yeah. So we might get a double top, or if this crosses over, is we could get that drop to remember 32.60. We could get that drop to here, and that could be the finish of it. Yeah. I am holding out for the 786, simply because of the pattern, the way it plays out. But you can see the 15 is looking to potentially spill here. Even if it gets rejected and comes up, I still think at some point the 15 is going to break. Yeah. And then the 1 hour, excuse me, you can see the 55 and the 1 hour is getting tested at the moment. And if you look at this previous one here, look when the 1 hour broke, is you got that nice spill down. Yeah. If we look at the 15 on the previous one, again, look, the 15 broke here, and look, it set up a drop, back test the 20, and then dropped again. Yeah. so we'll see what it wants to do. Yeah. So I'm watching for this. I'm watching for the 15-minute and how that wants to play. I don't think it's going to drop so strongly. I could be wrong there. Maybe if it gets, you see this drop here. Look, and then it came back and it went sideways for a few hours before it drops. That makes sense, because I bet you this is the turn. This is 5 o'clock. I was going to say the turn of the day at 12. Where's 12? So 12. Okay. And the reason being is I'll go to here's the MAs. Yeah. And let me clear off this here. Yeah. So you can see that at the turn of the day, I just put on the 4 hour for now. Yeah. At the turn of the day, the VWAP came up, and every hour, the VWAP turns. So look, there's and the VWAP. Look, and then it's the VWAP is being resistance all the way down. But now the VWAP has to wait until the timeline keeps moving. So the last one to turn was the 8 hour. So look, there's the 8 hour, and the reason being is that watch when you go to the 12 hour. Look at the straight line of the VWAP up. You never get price action coming down, forcing itself down the VWAP at a straight line. It just doesn't happen. So what happens is that it takes its time to come down, because it has to wait for the VWAP to turn every hour. So an example is, again, this one. Look, you got that sharp drop first. That's because the VWAP lifted it up. So the VWAP had space to come down here. But then when the MAs had to turn, look how much sideways it took, because the different hours had to turn and the VWAP turned with it until it reached a critical, and then look, it dropped. Where here it's coming down a bit more of an angle, but it still has to wait. So now the last one, look, there's the 4 hour. There's the 4. You see the VWAP's turned there, slowly coming down. Then the 6 hour. There's a sharp turn on the 6 hour. Then the last one to go was the 8 hour. Now the 8 hour turn, it was just sideways, but now it's starting to pull down a little bit. Yeah. So now, has the 9 hour gone yet? Is it 12? Yeah, the 12 is turned. So look, the 9 hour is turned, and look, there's a sharp pull down on the 9 hour. And look, there's the 50 MA, the 55. So there's good rejection there. Yeah. You can see that the 5 is coming up here. So a bit of a battle going to go on here. But now the 10 hour hasn't turned yet. So you get my point now. Look, the 10 hour hasn't turned. So look, the VWAP. You see when I put the mouse over the VWAP, see the VWAP is straight through the red candle. So until 1 o'clock, my time is 12:38. So in 20 minutes, the 10 hour will turn, and I expect the VWAP to do another turn down, and that will allow the VWAP to be support here, and then could get pulled down. And then the final one on the 12 hour cycle, because that's the turn of the day down here. So when the 12 hour turns, which will be 3 o'clock my time, is the VWAP. I expect the VWAP to again turn down like this. Yeah. So now when the VWAP turns down, that should give enough resistance support. So VWAP is resistance. So that should be give enough support for price action to come down and potentially hit. Because XRP lows its 786, come down and hit its target at 3180 or so. Excuse me. 3180 or so. Yeah. Potentially. So what I'm watching for, if that fails, is and the VWAP turns into support, then we'll have our 05 correction turns around and heads on up. I don't think it's going to happen, but you can see the battle that's going on. Yeah. So now, if I just go back to here and just play out the simple chart here, I readjusted my wedge. See this, the white wedge here. I readjusted my channel lines here. Yeah. When I saw this and I saw the play of this, I readjusted them. Yeah. So think that's it. I think that's a fair. There you go. Because those wicks match. Yeah, I know some people don't count wicks and other people do. I tend to count the wicks more than not, because price action has gone there. And I know you'll hear people talk about you adjust your charts to suit what's going on, but that's how you use them. That's how you use the support and resistance lines. Yeah, you got to stay adaptable as you go along. So now the bigger play here is this is the weekly channel, and it's broken out of it. So this is part of my talk about, look, it's broken out. It's back tested a bunch of times at the moment. It's got rejected. Is you can see the support and resistance level here is getting rejected. You can see the wedge. It's down on the wedge. Rejection. Back to the bottom again. Back to the top again. Again, I think potentially we're coming down for R786, and then again possibly our lift back up to the top of the wedge again, and then I reckon we might have decision time. Yeah. So now wedges, the descending wedges have a tendency to break up. They have a tendency to break up. So yeah, and this would be what I've been talking about for the last while. Is coming back up and doing a mountain peak. So put the 786 on this, coming back up to around 30, 38, 38, 74. Around anything from, let's say, the 618 to the 786. So anything from really 37 to 39 or so. Excuse me. So again, is all these possibilities. So if this wedge plays out, we could have this lift. If this weekly ascending channel, the breakout of it plays out, is then look, we could be down for a bigger drop, and even just coming down for a double bottom at the 065 at about 29.50. Yeah. So we could have that drop before we head on up. And remember, I talked about the daily. On the daily, there is bullish divergence. So we could come down here, and by that time, the bullish divergence kicks in, and then we have our lift up. So if that was the case, and you put the fibs back on this as well, yeah, is again the target would drop a little bit to 38.23 as the 786, and again this would be mountain peak, likes to come back up to mid-range high. So that would make sense as well. So it's all very much within a similar range, yeah. And it would be dropping out of this descending wedge, but then breaking back up, through it. So it's not a capitulation out of it, so to speak. So that's what I'm watching for the moment. So to maybe simplify for today again, like what are the levels? Is I think we need to watch out for, on the way down here, we need to watch out for, let me take this in here. We need to watch out for, I'm going to put it in the middle, because if this fails here to come down, generally it lands between the 382 and the 05. So generally the 3260 is a target. So again, possibly it'll come down here, do another little bit of a back test, and then come down further. So that's part of the challenge with reading it, is that you could get this double top before it finally comes down. So I have a tight stop loss just above my the top here, yeah, because if it starts breaking that, I reckon it's going up. So I give it the space to let itself play out here. It's quite possible it won't break this line again. So that'd be quite sweet to see it come up, hit this, get rejected again. That would give me confidence that's going to keep coming down. Yeah. Then my bottom target is 3176. Excuse me, 3176 or so. Yeah, and that would be the 786. And I reckon I was going to hold on and think, well, look, I'll potentially hold on and play for the deeper game, but I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. So I think I'll just take profit here, and it's a nice profit. I think it's a 1.2x, something like that. So I'll definitely, if it hits here, I'll definitely take profit. Then what I'm going to do is I I let this play out here. Is if I got this correct, it'll do a retrace to the 05, and then it's going to decide what it's going to do. If I start to see it break past the 05 and the 386, you start to see it breaking above this, that's starting to tell me, okay, potentially this could be breaking out. But again, it will most likely, if it is heading up, it'll do a break out of the wedge, and then it'll do a back test, and it'll head on up. So it'll do something like that. I don't know how far it'll break up, but it will break up, and then it'll come back and do a back test, and then it'll head on up, because that's pretty much the way the pattern plays out. If it's the other way, it'll just head down, and you start to see it getting rejected at around the 05 and starting to head down with proper gusto. Is looking good. Yeah, I'd probably wait until for confirmation. Wait to see it break the 31.21. Wait to see it break this bottom, before you can get a clear confirmation. I might not wait that long, because you're losing a lot of the trade. But I would be watching the MAs to see what's going on. So one of the things I'd be looking for, this is the last thing I'd say, one of the things I'd be looking for when it comes to the real direction it's going to take, is that when it takes it, is where are the EMAs on the hour, on the 15-minute, but equally on the hour. If I see it come to that 05 situation, and it's trying to make it choose a direction, I'll be looking very much to see where the 15 EMA is. Is it going to break down? Is it going to break up? Is it close to breaking? I'd want a solid confirmation it's breaking, rather than it kisses off, it turns around, and it rejects, because that's the edge that the market makers like to play things on. So I'll be watching the 15, and I'll be watching the hour, and the 4 hour as well. But really when it comes to trigger point for initial confirmation, it's the 5, it's the 15, and then the hour as well. Yeah, so that's what I'll be looking for, to give me a bit of guidance on when this finally makes its move, which way is the wind blowing with the EMAs. So that's that there. I know I talked a lot today, but you can see I'm talking through the final process of the volatility before it makes a bigger move. Yeah, so it needs that time, and we repeat it over and over and over, and over time you'll start to figure out how to actually trade this. There's so many times learning this I got wrecked. So many times. This is Death Valley, where all the you see on the arc here, yeah, is on the brown one, the big one here, yeah. You get these regular, you get these regular swings. Look, and it sets you up. Look, you can map these really well. They're nice and regular, and then it comes up here, and then you get this compacting. So this throws you off, because this is all regular, and then this gets very small, so it slows down, it gets really tight, and then it does this jaggedy stuff, and then look, you get these volatile moves. Look, then it goes sideways again. You get more volatile moves. So this is nice and regular, and you get used to this. So you got to adapt to this tight space, and then there's volatility, and then look, there's snappy moves. So for this regularity is this is where the market makers start to take all the profit back off you. This is Death Valley, because this is coming to the end where it gets tight and then snappy volatility. So learning how to trade it. This is the hardest part of the consolidation phase. This is the hardest part of the consolidation phase to trade. Yeah, because you can see sideways is snappy, and likes to lock people in, and then to get them to dig a hole, and eventually it clears them, but even still, the more you learn, you realize, look, there's still this level. For all the messiness, it's still these two levels that it's playing at. So once you know it's still playing in this range, you can play with your stop loss and your liquidation to protect yourself to a certain amount. Another conversation for another day. So that's it for now. Is remember these levels here, 32.60 for a potential reversal. I'm going to give it space to play out. I have a tight stop loss just above 33 My stop loss is actually 33.86. I'll give it the space to play out. Hopefully it breaks down. I'll be looking to take profit at 31.76. After that is, listen, I may hop in on a long. I may hop in on, if I get it really tight, hop in on a long. If it wants to go up to an 06 and come down, is I'll keep a super tight stop loss on it, so my risk will be very minimal. If it wants to come down, I'll see it coming down. I'll grab a quick bit of profit and switch the other direction. If it wants to keep going up, okay, well look, I'm in a good position here, and if it breaks up, back tests, I'm still not being challenged here, and then off it goes. So I may hop in if I get the bottom of this really tightly. I'll take it, But again, tight stop loss to make sure I don't dig a hole and start backing in the wrong direction, which I have done many times in the past. But that's part of the process of learning how to trade this tricky part. Yeah. Okay, so enjoy the rest of your day, and good trading, and we will talk later. Okay, cheers.